listen closely, because what you've been facing hasn't been random, ordinary, or coincidental. It hasn't simply been bad luck, poor timing, or life being unfair. There has been a pattern to your pain, an intention behind your battles, and a spiritual reason behind every obstacle that tried to block you. Somewhere deep inside you already knew this. Something in your spirit whispered that what you were fighting wasn't flesh. And blood wasn't just stress, wasn't just life. It was warfare. And now, you are finally receiving confirmation. The resistance you faced was spiritual, and heaven wants you to know. You were not crazy, you were not imagining it, and you were not alone. For a long time, you tried to rationalize what you were going through. You questioned yourself. You wondered why progress seemed harder for you than for others. You wondered why certain doors shut the moment you stepped toward them. You felt unseen, forces pushing back whenever you tried to rise. Silence fell when you needed answers, and strange heaviness appeared right when you were closest to a breakthrough. And while others around you cruised through life like calm rivers, you were navigating storms that didn't make sense. But here is the truth. Your destiny carries weight, and anything that carries great purpose attracts great opposition. The darkness recognized your potential before you fully did. What you carry is dangerous to the kingdom of darkness. What God placed inside you is powerful. And every strange attack, unusual delay, sudden betrayal, emotional exhaustion, unexplained sadness, and unexpected battle was evidence that something holy, something divine, something chosen rests upon your life. This is not a message of fear. This is a message of revelation, strength, and awakening. You are being given clarity over your journey. God is confirming what your soul already suspected. The warfare around your life is proof of your calling, and the resistance you've endured has not been wasted. There is meaning behind it. There is purpose in it. And there is victory written over it. Stay here. Listen carefully. Because as this message continues, truths will unfold, peace will return, and understanding will replace confusion. You are about to realize why you were attacked, why you were targeted, and why heaven has chosen this moment to speak directly to your spirit. And in the midst of everything you've walked through, something sacred has been happening behind the scenes. While your mind wrestled with questions and your heart carried silent battles, heaven was watching with intentional care. None of what you endured escaped divine awareness. Not a tear, not a sleepless night, not a silent prayer faded unheard. There has been a holy presence walking beside you, guiding you, shielding you, and sustaining you, even when you didn't realize it. You have never been abandoned in this journey. You have never been left to fight alone. There comes a point in every spiritually marked life where God steps in not to introduce something entirely new, but to confirm what your spirit has been sensing all along. That is what this moment is. This is not ordinary inspiration. This is not casual motivation. This is a divine interruption in your timeline. This is heaven leaning close, speaking directly to the part of you that has been weary, confused, and longing for clarity. The voice you've been aching to hear, the reassurance you've been praying for, the explanation you have quietly begged God to give you is being delivered now. Because your journey has not simply been emotional. It has not merely been mental. What you've battled has extended beyond the physical realm. And the one who sees both the visible world and the unseen one is now saying, "Let me explain. Let me bring light to what has tried to stay hidden." There is purpose in the resistance you experienced. There is strategy in the attacks that came against you. And there is divine strategy unfolding for your deliverance and advancement. There has always been intention in the way your life has unfolded. The doors that shut were not always failure. Often they were protection. The delays were not always punishment. Many times they were preparation. The strange pressure around your life wasn't evidence that you were weak. It was proof that something powerful was forming inside of you. And even when you felt overlooked by people, you were never overlooked by God. Your life has been under divine observation, under holy preservation, under heavenly guardianship. Right now, heaven is not only confirming your battles, but validating your strength. You did not survive by accident. You did not endure by coincidence. You endured because there is a divine hand over your story. And when God takes time to speak clarity into your life, it is because something is shifting, something is aligning, and something is being prepared to change. So breathe. Let your heart steady itself. Let your soul receive what you've longed to understand. The weight of confusion is lifting. The fog is clearing. And the one who knows the warfare surrounding your life is about to unveil why you were fought so hard, what is rising within you, and what heaven has declared over your future. What is rising now is not just understanding, it is revelation. A veil is being lifted from your journey, and truth is stepping forward like a dawn that can no longer be delayed. The season you've walked through was never random pressure. It has been part of a larger spiritual narrative, one that heaven has carefully authored. The resistance you've faced has been confirmation that something extraordinary was forming in your life. Something heaven refused to let the enemy sabotage before its appointed time. And now the message is being made clear. You've been in spiritual warfare because you're standing on sacred ground in destiny. There is something about your life that carries spiritual weight, and every force that opposes light recognizes it. You have been stepping closer to a turning point, a door, a shift that has the power to redirect the trajectory of your life. And because of that, the atmosphere around you has been trembling with unseen resistance. The enemy never attacks what has no value. He never invests energy in what poses no threat. The intensity you've faced has been proof that what is inside you is powerful proof, that what is ahead of you is meaningful proof that heaven's hand is upon you in a way that cannot be ignored. There has been a battle over your mind because clarity is dangerous. There has been a battle over your peace because a calm spirit hears God clearly. There has been a battle over your progress because momentum in your life shakes what darkness tries to protect. There have even been battles over your relationships, alignments, and surroundings. Because not everyone can go where you are being led, and not every connection is safe for what you carry. So, resistance rose, storms appeared, and life felt like it was happening against you rather than for you. But this is the prophecy being unveiled. The warfare was not a sign of defeat. It was evidence of preparation. Heaven has been fortifying you, strengthening you, sharpening your discernment, maturing your spirit, and teaching your soul how to stand in battles you once would have collapsed under. You have been becoming spiritually aware, spiritually wiser, spiritually grounded, and spiritually anchored, not by accident, but by divine design. There is a coming shift in your story where what you endured will begin to make sense. The attacks will be revealed as failed attempts. The setbacks will be exposed as strategic pauses. The tears will be remembered as seeds of strength. And the heaviness that tried to bury you will be recognized as resistance that failed. God is not simply acknowledging what you've been through. He is declaring that you did not endure for nothing. Something is being birthed from the pressure. Something is being awakened from the warfare. Something inside you has grown that can no longer be silenced or suppressed. Your spirit has learned what your flesh never could. Your soul has developed resilience that cannot be easily shaken. Your faith has stretched beyond surface-level belief into a depth that carries authority. And whether you realize it fully yet or not, you are stepping into a season where the very strength forged in your battles will become the foundation of your rise. So hear this with the weight it carries. You were targeted because you are transformational. You were resisted because you are consequential. You were battled because you are becoming someone hell fears and heaven supports. And now the prophetic truth is being laid before you. The warfare was a confirmation, and God is declaring that what was meant to break you will not succeed. You are being positioned, elevated, clarified, and empowered for what comes next. This is not the end of your story. This is a turning chapter. The same God who allowed you to face resistance is the same God who is bringing revelation, strength, and victory through it. The unseen battle is real, but so is the divine backing behind you. And as heaven speaks now, the narrative is shifting from confusion to clarity, from surviving to overcoming, from questioning to understanding. What stands ahead is not more chaos, but purpose unfolding destiny, aligning and breakthroughs born from the very warfare that tried to stop you. What you have been enduring has layers, and those layers hold meaning. There is a deeper story beneath the surface of the battles you faced, a spiritual architecture shaping everything. To see only the pain would be incomplete. To recognize only the struggle would be shallow. The truth is, you have been walking through a divine curriculum, not of punishment, but of preparation. The warfare wasn't meant to crush you. It was meant to awaken something powerful within you. There are seasons where God allows pressure, not because you are weak, but because you are strong enough to handle what others could not. Just as storms shake trees to test their roots, your trials tested and strengthened what holds you in place. They revealed what was fragile and what was unbreakable. They revealed what was temporary and what was eternal. Through everything, a refinement has been taking place. You are not the same person who entered this battle. Something has shifted inside you. Your perspective has deepened. Your resilience has grown. Your faith has matured. In the spiritual realm, resistance is rarely about what you have now. It is almost always about what is coming. The greater the calling, the greater the contest. The brighter the light, the heavier the opposition. The enemy does not fight what does not matter. If you were insignificant, warfare would never have bothered finding your address. But because you are stepping toward purpose, identity, clarity, and alignment with what heaven has planned, the shadows reacted. They sensed what was rising before you fully did. But even beyond the enemy's resistance, something sacred has been occurring within your soul. You were learning to lean not on your strength, but on divine strength. You were learning to trust what cannot always be seen. You were learning to rest in spiritual truth, not emotional circumstance. Every unanswered question taught surrender. Every setback taught patience. Every tear washed your perspective clean. Every season of silence sharpened your ability to hear what is subtle, holy, and real. Think of your journey as a transition between seasons. There was a time when everything felt familiar, manageable, predictable. But once your destiny began to shift, that familiar ground could no longer support who you were becoming. Just as winter cannot hold spring forever and night cannot hold back dawn, the old season could not contain the version of you that God was shaping. So seasons collided, winds shifted, pressures rose, not to destroy you, but to move you from where you were to where you are called to be. In the language of heaven, storms are not sent to drown. They are sent to reveal what floats. Trials do not come to erase identity. They come to expose it. You have been discovering who you really are, not the version molded by fear, not the one limited by insecurity, not the one programmed by doubt, but the version shaped by faith, protected by grace, and strengthened by spiritual truth. You also need to understand this identity awakens warfare. The moment you begin to realize you are chosen, opposition rises to make you question it. The moment you sense you were made for more, resistance tries to convince you otherwise. The moment purpose draws near, distractions appear, chaos stirs, and life tries to drown out what God is birthing. But beneath all of that noise, a deeper voice has been calling you upward, inward forward. That voice has been guiding you, even in the silence. That voice has been anchoring you even when circumstances tried to sway you. That voice has been God. The spiritual meaning of your struggle is simple, yet profound. You are transitioning from survival to authority. You are moving from merely believing to deeply knowing. You are crossing from emotional faith to anchored faith. The kind of faith that understands storms, but is not shaken by them. The kind of strength that feels pressure, but does not collapse beneath it. The kind of identity that recognizes warfare, but refuses to surrender destiny to it. This entire journey has been about alignment. Aligning your soul with your calling. Aligning your heart with divine truth. Aligning your steps with the destiny prepared for you. And although the path has been heavy, it has also been holy. Because through it, you have discovered something sacred. You are stronger than you realized, more guarded by heaven than you knew, and far more spiritually significant than you once believed. So as you stand now in this moment of understanding, breathe in the realization that nothing was wasted. Not the tears, not the confusion, not the seasons where you felt forgotten. Every moment has been woven into a greater purpose. And now, revelation is settling in your spirit like dawn spreading across a dark horizon. The story of your struggle is transforming into the testimony of your strength. The narrative of your battles is shifting into the declaration of your becoming. You were never fighting alone. You were being shaped, strengthened, and positioned for the unfolding of something extraordinary. As truth settles in your spirit, something remarkable begins to happen. Awareness awakens memory. You start to look back and realize the signs were there all along. There were moments in your journey when the atmosphere shifted in ways you couldn't explain. Times when you felt something unseen pressing against your progress. Moments when life seemed to move strangely, not in coincidence, but in pattern. Those were not ordinary experiences. Those were confirmations that what you were facing had spiritual weight. One of the first signs has been the unusual heaviness that appeared without logical reason. There were days when your spirit felt burdened, when your heart felt tired, even though nothing drastic happened externally. It wasn't sadness. It wasn't just stress. It was pressure you could feel in your soul. That heaviness wasn't weakness. It was spiritual sensitivity. You were feeling conflict in the unseen realm before it manifested in the visible one. Another sign has been resistance appearing the moment you attempted to do something meaningful. Every time you tried to step into purpose, progress, healing growth, or alignment, something pushed back. Sudden problems would arise. Unexpected distractions would appear. People would change. Circumstances would twist. It almost felt like progress triggered opposition. And that was not your imagination. That was confirmation that your movement threatened darkness. A third sign has been unexplainable emotional or mental battles. There were seasons where anxiety increased without reason, where discouragement visited, even when life appeared stable, where doubt whispered louder than usual. This wasn't weakness in your faith. It was warfare against your clarity, because if you truly recognized who you are becoming, you would be unstoppable. You may have also noticed relationships shifting strangely. People distancing, some turning cold, some revealing hidden intentions, others being removed unexpectedly. This hurt, but it wasn't random. When God elevates a life, He also edits the cast. Some connections could not remain because they were not aligned with where you are going. Relationship warfare often surrounds destiny because alignment matters. Another powerful sign has been the quiet inner knowing that something spiritual was happening even when you couldn't explain it. You sensed it in your spirit. You felt atmosphere shifts, You felt yourself entering spiritual awareness. Something deep inside whispered, "This is bigger than what I see." That inner knowing was not imagination. It was discernment awakening. And perhaps the most beautiful sign of all has been this. Despite everything, something inside you refused to break. When others would have given up, something in you kept holding on. When your strength was gone, grace carried you. When your heart felt overwhelmed, your spirit somehow stayed anchored. That unseen endurance was the fingerprint of God on your life. It was evidence that heaven refused to let you fall. These are not coincidences. These are confirmations, indicators, spiritual signatures. They point to one truth: your life is part of something sacred. You were fought because you matter. You were resisted because you carry significance. You have been in warfare because you are stepping into purpose. So do not dismiss what you've lived through. Do not belittle your endurance. Do not overlook the signs heaven has been quietly placing along your path. They have all been saying the same thing. Something holy surrounds your life. Something divine is unfolding. Something extraordinary is ahead. Yet even with all this revelation, there is something important to acknowledge. The journey does not unfold without challenge. Before breakthrough comes clarity, and before fulfillment comes testing. Not testing to punish you, but testing to strengthen you. What you've been experiencing, and may still experience for a season, are hidden challenges designed not to destroy you, but to refine you. One of these hidden challenges is the weight of waiting. Waiting stretches the soul in ways few other experiences can. When you know something more is ahead, but you cannot yet touch it, that waiting can feel like pressure on your spirit. There will be days when you question timing, when you wonder why certain doors haven't opened yet, when impatience tries to wrap around your faith. This isn't a sign of failure. It is a sacred tension meant to deepen trust and teach your heart to anchor itself in divine timing, not immediate gratification. Another hidden challenge is the temptation to doubt your own worth and calling. Warfare often tries to whisper lies. Maybe you imagined it. Maybe you're not chosen. Maybe you're not strong enough. There will be moments when those whispers grow loud, when insecurity attempts to sit in the driver's seat of your thoughts. But understand this: the presence of doubt does not mean the absence of destiny. It simply means your destiny is powerful enough to be contested. You may also encounter fatigue, not just physical, but spiritual exhaustion, as if your soul has run a marathon, as if your heart has been carrying weights for too long. There may be moments when your spirit sighs, when you want relief more than revelation, when you crave peace more than purpose. Even this is part of the process. Rest isn't weakness. God honors weary hearts that keep believing even when strength feels thin. Another hidden challenge will be the temptation to go back to what God already called you out of. When the future feels uncertain and the present feels heavy, the past can begin to look comfortable. Old habits may call. Old environments may attempt to pull you back. Old versions of yourself may try to reappear. But hear this: you cannot return to what you've outgrown. You cannot shrink back into a life you've already evolved beyond. The discomfort of growth is far more holy than the comfort of regression. There may also be moments where the silence of God feels louder than His voice. Times when heaven feels quiet. Times when you wonder if the guidance stopped. But even in silence, God is not absent. He is strengthening your ability to trust what He already said. Silence is not abandonment. It is maturation. And perhaps the most subtle challenge of all is this: you will still have to walk forward with courage even while healing from battles you didn't choose. You will carry scars, but those scars will not signify defeat. They will signify survival. They will signify testimony. They will signify strength that was proven under pressure. So understand this deeply. These challenges are not punishments. They are part of sacred preparation. They are evidence of transition. They exist because you are moving into something greater than where you have been. And every challenge you face from here is simply another step toward becoming who you were always meant to be. You are not failing. You are being fortified. Now that truth has been revealed and understanding is unfolding, heaven does not simply want you aware, heaven wants you prepared. Revelation without instruction leaves a soul awakened but directionless. But God is too intentional with your life to allow that. What you have walked through, what you have endured, and what you are stepping into requires not only strength, but alignment. So listen closely, because what follows is not just advice. It is instruction. Sacred, purposeful, loving direction meant to position you for what is ahead. The first instruction is this: guard your inner atmosphere. Your mind, your spirit, your emotional space, they are gateways. Not everything deserves access to your thoughts. Not every voice deserves influence over your peace. You must grow intentional about what you allow to settle inside you. Protect your peace like treasure. Be mindful of conversations that drain you, environments that weaken you, and thoughts that poison you. Peace is not fragile, but it requires responsibility. When warfare has surrounded your life, peace becomes your shield and your weapon. Create moments of stillness. Make room for silence. Allow your soul to breathe. When your environment becomes chaotic, choose to anchor your interior world in spiritual truth rather than emotional noise. The second instruction: strengthen your spiritual foundation. Whatever draws you closer to God, do more of it. Pray with intention. Not with fancy words, not out of obligation, but with honesty. Speak to God from your real heart, not your rehearsed one. Read truth. Listen for guidance. Surround yourself with words that give life rather than fear. Build your spirit the way a warrior strengthens muscle, consistently, deliberately, even on days when you don't feel like it. Because strength is rarely built in comfort, it is forged in devotion. The third instruction is powerful. Do not isolate. Warfare often tries to convince you that you are alone, that no one understands, that you are safer withdrawing. But isolation is a trap. Yes, God will give you seasons of solitude, but solitude heals isolation, hollows. Surround yourself with voices of wisdom, faith, and grounding. People who lift your spirit upward, not people who drag it downward. You may not need many, but you do need alignment. Choose connections with discernment. Not everyone deserves access to your vulnerability, but the right people can help you carry what felt unbearable alone. Next, hear this clearly: stay anchored in purpose, even when feelings fluctuate. There will be days when motivation fades, days when you don't feel strong, days when faith feels like effort instead of ease. Yet even then, keep moving. Purpose is sustained not by emotional highs, but by commitment. You are not required to always feel powerful. You are called to remain grounded. Continue building yourself. Continue stepping forward. Continue nurturing what God placed inside you. What you stay faithful to grows. Another vital instruction: release what is no longer aligned. You cannot carry old seasons into new territories and expect peace to remain. Release habits that drain you. Release relationships that confuse your spirit. Release guilt from past versions of yourself. Release the need to explain your growth to those who refuse to understand it. Letting go will feel like loss at first, but eventually it becomes freedom. Some chapters are not meant to be rewritten, they are meant to be closed. Then understand this deeply. Speak life over your journey. Your words carry direction. Your language shapes your atmosphere. Stop rehearsing defeat with your tongue. Stop feeding fear with your speech. Stop declaring limitation when heaven has declared possibility. Begin to speak hope, strength, clarity, and purpose into your days, even when you feel tired. Especially when you feel tired. Words are seeds, plant wisely. Finally, remain expectant. Expectation is not naive hope. It is spiritual posture. It says, I believe something meaningful is unfolding, even if I cannot yet see it. That expectation fuels perseverance. It shifts how you walk. It strengthens how you stand. Expectation is faith wearing courage. These instructions are not burdens. They are invitations. Invitations to partnership with what God is doing in your life. Invitations to maturity, to strength, to clarity, to authority. You are not being asked to be perfect. You are being asked to be willing to grow, willing to shift, willing to align, willing to believe that what God has spoken over you carries weight. So walk forward with intention. Guard your atmosphere. Strengthen your spirit. Refuse isolation. Anchor in purpose. Release what no longer belongs. Speak life. Remain expectant. These steps are not simply preparation, they are transformation in motion. What lies ahead requires a grounded spirit, a clear heart, and a courageous soul. And you are ready. Even as you stand in the awareness of warfare, heaven does not leave you uncovered. You have not been walking through these battles unguarded, unsupported, or unprotected. Whether you felt it fully or not, there has been a shield around your life, a divine covering that has held you when you could not hold yourself. You are not merely surviving because you are strong. You are still here because you are protected. There have been moments where danger should have broken you, but it didn't. Situations that should have crushed your spirit, but they couldn't. Seasons that should have swallowed your peace. Yet somehow peace kept resurfacing. That resilience was not accidental. That survival was not luck. That inner strength was not self-created. It was divine preservation. When you walked through storms, something unseen walked with you. When you faced attacks, something holy stood between you and destruction. When your heart felt like it could shatter, grace held the fragments together. There were moments when your mind came close to breaking, yet didn't. Moments when hope nearly slipped through your fingers, yet remained. That is because God has never stepped away from you. His presence has been the quiet fortress around your life. Protection does not always look like preventing every battle. Sometimes protection looks like making you unbreakable in battle. Sometimes it looks like preserving your purpose while life shakes everything else. Sometimes it looks like blocking what you never even knew tried to reach you. Heaven does not always announce what it rescues you from. Many of the battles that should have reached you never did, because divine hands stopped them before they arrived. And even now, as you move forward, that protection does not fade. You are not stepping into your future vulnerable. You are stepping forward architected by strength, wrapped in divine assurance, and accompanied by guidance that knows every path ahead of you. You are covered in ways you cannot always see, but can continually trust. There is a hedge around your destiny. There is a covering over your mind. There is a shield over your progress. You are surrounded by grace in front of you, behind you, above you, and within you. Even when the enemy tried to touch your identity, your purpose, your mind, your peace, it did not succeed. Because what God has claimed, darkness cannot claim. What heaven has sealed, nothing can steal. So rest in this truth: you are not alone and never have been. Even in your loneliest seasons, you were never abandoned. Even in your quiet tears, you were never unseen. Even in your silent pain, you were never unheard. You have walked through valleys, yes, but you have never walked them unaccompanied. Let calm settle into your spirit. Let peace finally exhale through your chest. Let assurance rest on your heart, like a warm blanket in a cold night. You are guarded. You are shielded. You are covered. The same God who has carried you this far is committed to carrying you forward. You remain under divine protection, not temporarily, not conditionally, but faithfully. And now, with understanding in your spirit and assurance in your heart, something extraordinary begins to form within you. Not just relief, not just clarity, transformation. The kind that does not simply adjust your life, it elevates it. The kind that does not merely soothe your spirit, it awakens it. Everything you have endured, survived, learned, resisted, and overcome has not been wasted. It has been shaping you into someone spiritually weighty, internally anchored, and divinely aligned. What was once fragile within you has grown stronger. What once frightened you no longer holds the same power. The wounds that once bled now carry wisdom. The experiences that once confused you are becoming understanding. Where there was once uncertainty, there is now grounding. Where there was once fear, there is now courage. Something in you has matured silently, like roots deepening beneath the surface, unseen yet undeniable. You are stepping into a version of yourself that carries authority. You are no longer simply reacting to life. You are responding with discernment. You are no longer trying to fit into places that were never designed for you. You are recognizing how sacred your path truly is. You are no longer shrinking to make others comfortable. You are realizing that your light was never meant to dim in order to be accepted. You are evolving into someone who understands that spiritual warfare did not come to prove your weakness. It came to reveal your strength. Fulfillment does not always arrive in loud moments. Sometimes it comes softly, quietly, as peace replacing anxiety, as clarity replacing confusion, as confidence replacing hesitation, as grounded faith replacing wavering hope. You begin to carry yourself differently, not arrogantly, but assuredly. You begin to trust yourself more, not because you rely on your own strength, but because you finally recognize the God who has always been with you. There is also a deep inner healing unfolding. You are being restored from what tried to break you. Your heart is being gathered from the fractures life attempted to cause. The parts of you that once felt scattered are being drawn back into wholeness. Hope is not just returning. It is being rebuilt into something steadier, wiser, and more mature. You are learning to love again, to trust again, to dream again, to believe again, and not blindly but intentionally, with understanding and resilience. And as transformation deepens, fulfillment begins to unfold externally as well. Doors that refused to open before will begin to unlock because you are now prepared to walk through them. Opportunities that once slipped away will reappear in healthier, more aligned forms. Relationships that drained you will be replaced by connections that honor your growth. Paths that once felt foggy will start to clear. Not because life suddenly became perfect, but because you have become spiritually equipped to walk it. There will be moments ahead where you look back and realize that what once felt like destruction was actually construction. What once felt like loss was divine redirection. What once felt like abandonment was holy preservation. You will see how every battle carved something powerful into your spirit. You will see how every tear watered strength. You will see how every moment of resistance sharpened your ability to recognize what is holy and what is harmful. Transformation means you are no longer defined by what tried to wound you. You are defined by what you rose from. Fulfillment means you are no longer standing in confusion. You are standing in purpose, and purpose has a way of illuminating everything around it. It makes life richer. It gives meaning to breaths. It turns ordinary days into sacred ground. So as this journey moves forward, see yourself not as someone barely surviving life, but as someone rising in strength, wisdom calling, and divine alignment. The warfare was real. But so is the victory, so is the growth, so is the new chapter unfolding before you. You are becoming what heaven always saw. And that becoming is fulfillment in motion. And now as this message settles into your spirit, something quiet yet powerful begins to rest upon you: peace. A peace that does not erase your past, but redeems it. A peace that does not deny the battles, but honors the strength you gain through them. A peace that whispers, you are covered, you are guided, you are becoming. You have walked through revelation. You have received understanding. You have stood in clarity. Now you are being sealed in assurance. You are not leaving this moment the same as you entered it. A weight has lifted. A fog has cleared. Your spirit feels steadier. Your heart feels heard. Your mind feels calmer. And deep within there is now a knowing. A grounded certainty that your life is not random. Your struggle was not meaningless, and your future is held in faithful hands. Let these affirmations anchor into your heart. Speak them, hold them. Let them shape how you walk forward. Affirmation 1. I am divinely protected, guided, and strengthened. What once tried to break me has only built me into someone wiser, deeper, and stronger. Affirmation 2. My life carries purpose, my spirit carries resilience, and my future carries promise. Nothing formed against me will prosper, because what is meant for me is guarded by heaven. Affirmation 3. I do not walk in fear, confusion, or doubt. I walk in clarity, faith, and confidence, knowing that everything I endured has positioned me for what is ahead. Affirmation 4. I release the past, embrace the present, and step boldly into what God is unfolding. I am aligned. I am prepared. I am becoming everything I am meant to be. Now receive this blessing. May your heart be wrapped in calm assurance. May your mind rest in divine peace. May your spirit stand strong with unwavering faith. May every shadow that once surrounded you lose its power. May every lie that tried to break you dissolve in truth. May strength rise within you like a sunrise that cannot be stopped. May clarity walk beside you. May wisdom rest within you. May courage guide your steps. And may the presence of God go before you, behind you, and within you, now and always. You are not defeated. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are seen. You are covered. You are becoming. Walk forward with confidence. Carry peace like armor. Live with expectation, because what fought you proved your value, and what awaits you confirms your purpose. This is your time. This is your becoming, and heaven is with you.